Bank Night was a great opener. You want to tell us some more about it?
Sure. I've been doing this routine as an opener for over 25 years now. Just for the record, I was the one who came up with the idea of using the lottery tickets at the end. And even though somebody else had claimed credit for it initially, that's cleared up now. They admit that I was the one who started doing this. I wanted a routine that's an opening routine that's friendly and fast and funny and yet not too challenging. No great mystery, but just one that's fun, gets people laughing, and slowly gets you into this mode of the magic of the mind. Right. And the method's pretty easy, pretty obvious. It uses a thumb tip. Nothing more complicated. I love thumb tips, and I use it a number of times in the show. For an A thumb tip, a $100 bill, simply fold it up. Not like for the bill switch, but one less fold so that it goes into the tip, and sort of half the tip has the bill on it. So when you remove your thumb, it comes out that quarter fold or eighth fold, whatever that is, as opposed to one more fold for the bill switch. The envelopes, each one contains a white piece of paper, except for, and I always use envelope number 2, that one has the lottery tickets in it. And if you review the performance, basically I come out and I tell them, and this routine as an opener is meant to be one that you can do without much fear of messing up or having to hide anything or do any kind of intricate sleight of hand. I realized that you could probably have the thumb tip in your pocket, come out with the envelopes, remove the elastic band, stick it in there, steal the thumb tip out, and come. I don't do that. I wear it right from the beginning. I like to know when I walk out on stage I'm ready to go, and I don't have to steal anything from my pockets, and that's how I handle it. The thumb tip is on your right hand, and by the way, in the course of showing the envelopes, once in a while, if I want to take the envelopes into this hand, I can slide the tip off and just talk for a while. And it's here, behind my hand. So it frees me up so that if there are any magicians in the audience who might be looking for a thumb tip, there's nothing there. Right. And then later, it's always behind the envelope, so it can never be seen. The number 2 envelope, in this case, with the lottery tickets, is the one I make the joke about during the course of the routine. Right. It does 2 things. When I say I've already played this game 5 times last week, and every single time the $100 has been inside number 2, psychologically it's telling the audience, hey, this guy works a lot, you know, without actually coming out and saying that. Okay, it's funny. You hope that the person takes number 2. Usually the first person doesn't. Usually they pass on it. And so, good, fine. They take some other envelope. I go to the next person. I'm sure glad that so-and-so didn't take envelope number 2, like that. And, of course, they usually take it. If not, you know, now the audience is laughing. If it gets down to 3 envelopes and someone hasn't taken it, I usually say, who else would like to play the game? And I just look around. Somebody's always going, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I know that if I offer them a shot, they're going to take number 2. Okay, so let's say they take number 2, and you have 2 left, and I give one of them away. All right, now at this point, I just look at whatever envelope I have. Let's say we're number 1, and I simply say, okay, those people have 3, 4, and 5. Open them up, hold the contents up above your head. So it comes down to me and the last person. Right. And now I have the fun of, do you want to switch, and all the things that you saw on the tape. When they don't want to switch, this is the method I use to open my envelope to extract the $100 bill. I keep it with the flap side toward me. I pop the flap open, okay, on my side. I reach inside and shove the thumb tip inside the envelope and pull the bill out part way. Right. Then as I turn it toward the audience, I come out like this at my fingertips with the bill, so you can see it coming out of the envelope. Crush this up and open the bill and do the bit with the serial number that I've had the first person supposedly memorize, and then use my line, which I'm sure gets stolen now, that I did invent. Spontaneous applause there would be appropriate, okay? And then, of course, that's a nice kicker at the end with the lottery tickets, because at first everyone applauds and says, oh, he's a nice guy. Right. Gave her 4 tickets, and, well, you can only keep 1, gets a big laugh. And then when you explain they have to give 1 to the other 3 players, it's a nice touch. It's warm. It's homey. It makes you feel good. You've done a nice thing. And even at the end, the person is left with another choice. Right. And that's kind of the fun part of the whole thing.
Now, wonder if they want to switch.
Okay. That's a legitimate question. I'm down at the end, and I've got my envelope and their envelope, and, hey, do you want to switch? And they go, yeah.
Right.
It happens once in a while, not too often, but okay, so they switch. Now you've got it with the lottery tickets in it. Okay, well, this happens to me once in a blue moon. When it does, usually the audience, starts reacting, like, what are you doing? Don't do that. And I usually give them a chance to switch back. I say, now, are you sure? Do you want to keep that envelope, or do you want to switch back? And at that point, and if you prompt them and say to the audience, what do you think? Switch, don't switch. Sometimes, very often, you get them to switch back.
Okay.
If you don't get them to switch at the end, okay, I just finish up by taking the bill out of this envelope, okay, and getting the applause. Then I go, now, if I were to do that, then, of course, the thumb tip would be stuck inside the envelope with the lottery tickets.
Number 2.
Right, number 2. And I would have extracted $100 bill. Then I would walk over to the other person. I'd say, well, I'll tell you what, there's something else in the envelope. I would have stolen out the thumb tip in the process and hand it. Sometimes I'll even say, did you feel something a little bit stiffer in that envelope before we switch? Because there's something else besides the $100 inside. Here, you take it out, and then I would end in the normal way. And in some ways, that actually reinforces it, because if, everything were in the number 2 envelope, then that makes it twice as mysterious, because there it is. Yeah, you prove that everything is in the number 2 envelope, and you couldn't give it away.
Right.
Okay. Now, one last thing I want to mention, and this is a more practical thing. You know how in the beginning of the routine, I look to somebody and I say, by the way, the serial number on this bill was AB77575310M. Okay. You there, remember that. It means it's a joke. Well, that's really the serial number. And it's not always the same $100 bill. I use a different $100 bill every time I perform. And I memorized the serial number for real.
Okay.
And there's a reason I do that. It's because I don't care how many years you've been in this business and how many performances you've given. If you're not nervous right before you go on, there's something wrong with you. Okay? And I'm nervous whenever I go on. Always that stage fright just before walking on. If I got something to occupy my mind before I walk on, then I'm a lot better off. And that's when I stand in the wings going over the serial number in my mind, thinking, okay, it's AB77575310M. That's what I'm doing when I'm waiting in the wings to be introduced.
You don't have time to have stage fright.
Yeah, you don't have time, and plus it directly applies to the first routine, so it's for a reason. And yeah, it just helps out immensely. Is that pretty much it? Yeah, that covers it, I guess.
That's great.